Hello friends, welcome to another video on my YouTube channel, and in this video you will learn how to build a Telegram chatbot that can receive a prompt from user and generate image based on the prompt using OpenAI DALL-E 3 and send the generated image back to the user. In this application, we will use Python and Flask to build our webhook. We will use OpenAI DALL-E 3 to generate images. And finally, if everything works well, we will deploy our webhook or our Python Flask application on render platform. In this video, I will walk you through all the required steps to build an error-free Telegram bot. Also, we will learn the process end to end. So let's get started. Let's understand the process, how the Telegram bot or how the Telegram application will work. User will send a message on Telegram bot, that is actually a Telegram server. Now we will set a webhook for our bot on Telegram so that Telegram will send the new message information in a request to our webhook. We will immediately pass that information to a new thread to generate the images or generate an image. The reason for using a thread is that this function can take time and we cannot wait for this function to finish because there is a strong possibility someone at the same instance can send another message to generate image. So we will use thread to generate image. While the thread is working, we will immediately, once received a request, we will immediately send response back to Telegram server saying that, hey, don't worry, we got the request. Now this thread will, work on itself. When the thread finishes working and the image URL is ready, we will send the image URL back to the user. In this way, we will be able to handle multiple parallel requests from Telegram server to our application. Now, managing multiple parallel requests on any application is itself a complex problem, but here for simplicity, we will use thread to solve the problem. In this application, we will build two routes. The first route is a get route Telegram. This route is used to set a webhook. Another Telegram, which is post route, will receive information from Telegram about a new message from a user. We will pass that information to a new thread and we will immediately respond with OK status to the request. Once the thread finishes the work, we will send the message back to the user. Now, let's understand what different things you will need. The first thing you will need is Python installed on your system. Second, you will need a code editor. I use VS Code, but you can use any code editor of your choice. Then you must have account with Telegram, must have account with OpenAI and have access to OpenAI API key. For local development, we want our local server to be exposed to internet, and for that we will use a tool called ngrok. It is very easy to set up. Now let's move to the development part. Here I have Visual Studio Code open and a terminal alongside. The first thing I will do is that I will create a new virtual environment using venv. Then I will source into this newly created virtual environment. The first thing we will be doing is installing Flask. So I'll say pip install Flask. In order to read environment variables, we will need python-.env, and to interact with OpenAI, we will need a package called OpenAI. I will hit enter. Then, in order to make the deployment process very handy, I will create a requirements.txt file using pip freeze greater than requirements.txt, and you can see it will create a clean requirements.txt file. Next, we need to create a .env file. This .env file will contain two variables. First, OpenAI API key. This will be your OpenAI API key. Second, Telegram bot API key. So now let's get our Telegram API key. Here I am on my Telegram and I have open bot father. Make sure you go to this handle. Here you will see a menu and you see a new bot. You click on that, provide few things, and your bot is ready. I'll not walk you through the process. It is simple and I want you to do it on your own. But once you create a new bot like this, new bot, it will ask for a name. Here is the name. It will ask for a handle. So this is the handle. Once you know both the things are good to go, you will receive this message saying that, hey, your bot is created and you have your access token. I'm showing this access token because this is just a demo bot, but if you have any production bot, please don't share API key with anybody you don't trust because that's sensitive information. So once the key is there, I'll paste it here. Now you can see we have both the variables set. We are good to go. The first thing I'll do is that I'll create a main.py file. Here we will write our Python Flask application. So I'll say import, basically from Flask import Flask. In order to get the request information, we will use request. I'll say app equals to Flask. I'll pass __ name as argument. And the first thing I'll do is that I'll create a home route with a get method, just saying that the application is working correctly. So I'll say handle home and I'll return OK 200. This is just to make sure the application is running. And let's run the application. Using app.run. I'll not pass any argument here. We want it to be plain as possible. Now I'll run the application using Python and then our file name main. You can see the application is running. And if I click here, we will see not found, and the reason for that is we have written home. So if I write home here, we will see OK response. So our basic server is running, but I don't like this setup, because whenever I make a change, for example, if I remove this and save this, and if I go to browser and refresh this, we will see no effect, because we have removed the home part, but still it is there, you can see. So for that, what I'll do is that I'll stop the local server. I will pip install Gunicon. Now Gunicon has some issue on Windows, so sometimes it throws FNTL error. In that particular case, you need to work with Python main.py command. Now I'll say Gunicon run :app -reload to reload the application whenever I make a change and it throws an error. I'm not sure. Yeah, it says no module name run because we don't have that file. So I'll say run.py and I'll move just this part from main.py to here, and obviously we need to import from main import app. And when I save it and when I say Gunicon run app reload, it will start the server, but now it is running on port 8000. So if I come here and if I say 8000, we'll see OK response. And in case we make a change here, let's say again, I'll say home and save this, you can see the server automatically reloads itself. So I'll remove this part. It was just for demonstration. Now, as you can, see here, we need to build two routes: Telegram for setting the webhook, get method, Telegram with post method. So I'll create both of the route. Let's say app.get Telegram handle get Telegram. I'll say def handle get Telegram, and here let's write a to do get request URL and then form our webhook URL and then set the webhook on Telegram server. I'll say return at this point OK 200. The next will be post Telegram. I'll say def handle underscore post underscore Telegram, and obviously here what we'll do is that receive a new message, extract the prompt, create a new thread, pass the prompt and user info, and then send the message OK to Telegram server. And under this new thread function, we will do a couple of things. For that, I'll say, let's say def call DALL-E, I guess, and send image. Okay, so here obviously we will receive a prompt that will be string, the recipient ID on which we want to send the message back. We will generate the image, send the image as photo on Telegram. We will at this point return none, and a function to generate image return empty at this point, and obviously we will receive the prompt as a string. And I hope now you understand here is that we will call DALL-E. Okay, we will call DALL-E here. So this is our basic structure. So let's handle all of these one by one. First, let's handle the part where we create some functionality so that someone calls this route. We will set the webhook automatically. So the first thing is to extract the base URL. So I'll say, let's say base URL equals to request dot base URL. Now this base URL will have, let's first print the base URL. Let me save this and let's call our base URL by going to this Telegram route. We get OK response, and if we come here, you will see this URL was printed, but you can see this is HTTP and Telegram will not allow HTTP. So for that, what I'll do is that I'll create a new tab and I'll say ngrok HTTP 8000 to start new ngrok URL on port 8000. I'll hit enter. We'll receive this URL, and if we come here and if I handle this, if we hit enter, it is still loading, I guess. Yeah, so sometimes what happens is that if the terminal on my particular machine, if the terminal is smaller than this part, I don't receive the URL or I don't receive any information. But if you can see now, I have made it bigger. Now we receive the OK response. And if I now go to Telegram and let's see the terminal itself, you'll see we receive this URL HTTPS and this part. So now we need to set this as our webhook. For that, let me make this bigger as well. For that, what we will do is that we will still make a sanity check. There is a strong possibility that you receive only HTTP instead of HTTPS. So what we will do is that, let me say parts is equals to base URL dot split. I'll split by this part and then join all the parts. So now the base URL will be https :/ and then I'll join all the parts. So I'll say F, and here I'll say I'll need 3 because I'll say this dot join all the parts. Oops. Okay, so this two steps make sure that our base URL has HTTPS, and here followed by Telegram. So this will be our webhook URL. We are doing this automatically. So if we are deploying this on a server, we will call this route, and this route will set our webhook URL. And for that, I will write a function here. Let's say set Telegram webhook. We will pass this base URL as a parameter into the function, and this function will set the webhook for us on Telegram server. So I'll create a new file called telegram_api.py file. Here we will keep all the functions that communicates with Telegram. So in order to set the webhook, we need a base URL. This base URL will be the URL of Telegram servers. So it is https://api.telegram.org. Now this URL expects few things: token of the Telegram bot, and then the method that you want to call. So if you go to this Telegram API documentation, you will see there is getting updates. Here there are a couple of ways to receive an update for the Telegram bot. Among that, we are using set webhook. So this is the method name, and these are the these are the parameter that this method can accept: URL, max connection, allowed updates, drop pending updates, secret token. This is to make sure that the request is coming from Telegram itself. So these are the few things that you can use. We will use URL, and this is the method name. So here we will need to pass the method name, but what we will do is that since we are using this as a base URL, we will not write the method name here, but we will write the method name under the function. So the function we want to create is set telegram_webhook. That will receive a URL of type string, and let's send nothing at this point. And if we come here and import this, we can import it very easily. Let me save this and let's work on this. So in order to make a request on this URL, we will need a package called requests. So let's install that. For that, I'll stop this, I'll clear this, I'll say pip install requests, I guess, and let me freeze the requirements again, and let me say Gunicon. Oh, it says, yeah, so let's first create few things. Yeah, let me save this, and then we can run the application. Okay, so the application is running. Now what we will do, we need to form the URL. For that we will need token, and the token is here inside the environment file. So what I'll do is that I'll create one more file, config.py, and here we will import OS, and from .env import a load.env and find.env. So what we'll do is that we will keep all the things that are kind of a constant here, so that we can use anywhere in the application, and in case we want to modify, we only need to modify one file. So I'll say Telegram bot API key. We'll be getting it from the environment file, and I'll set it here as well. So let's first import requests and then import the config file, and let me make this f string, and here I'll say config.telegram bot API key. Now I'll say my JSON data is URL that we want to set. We are receiving it through parameters. Then my headers will be addict content hyphen type equals to application slash JSON. Now the response I'll be receive when I'll send a request on the URL is captured in the response, and the method we want to set is post under the request. Then the URL will be again f string followed by base URL followed by the method set webhook. I hope you are able to understand all of these things. And then the JSON will be my JSON, and the headers will be my headers. So we'll receive information from this request, and let's say if the response dot status code equals to 200, and let's make sure one more sanity check. Let's convert the response into JSON, saying response.json, and we'll say if the response is okay, then let's print webhook set. Otherwise we will say webhook not set, and in case we don't receive valid response, we will say that as well. So this is set. So now we have the URL, we have the function. So let's test this out on our browser. So what we'll do is that we will go here on the browser, and if I run this, we will receive OK response from our server because we have set the home route. But now if I say Telegram and hit enter, you will see internal server error. So let's see what happened here. So it says key error. So let's print the response itself, what we are receiving here. Let's try to make the request again. And here you'll see that, so you'll see that this is the response we got. This is the status okay, true, result, and description. I guess the reason behind it is this part. This should be smaller. Okay, I guess. And if I save this, and the server is reloaded, go to the browser and let me reload this. You can see okay response. That means the webhook is set, and this is the result of the webhook. Now since we have successfully set the webhook, we are ready to to receive information on our post route. So let's say the body that we receive in the request can be get using request.getJSON. Let's first print the body itself, and we will return OK 200. This OK 200 is needed always when you receive a request on your webhook to make sure to Telegram that, hey, we received the information. Otherwise, Telegram will send another request with the same data. So when I save this, and if I go to my Telegram and go to the bot that I have created, and if I say hi here, and if we see here, yeah, I'm not sure what happened. We have received the information or not. I have figured out the reason, and the reason is that this, we have set Telegram. So if I come here, and if you see here, the parts were always receiving this Telegram route word under that. So this was my bad to set the word again. So if I save this, and let's make sure the server is reloaded, it is reloaded. And if we go to the browser again, and if I hit enter, this will set the webhook. And if you look here, we have received the updates as well. So you can see we will receive this kind of information when someone send a new message on our webhook. So from this, we need to extract few things. First is the text that the user has sent. Second, the from ID. So on this ID, we will send reply, and with the help of this text, we will generate the image. So let's work on that part. So here, let's extract few things, and before that, I'll put this into try, and except we will say print, we will say error at Telegram post. Okay, and so with this, we always make sure that we send OK response. Now we have the body, so we will get the query from user. That will be body message and text. The recipient ID will be body / under messages under from under ID, and let's make sure. So under messages, from ID is our recipient ID, and under messages text is our query. So this seems good. Now there is a possibility that the user is interacting with the bot for the first time, so they will receive kind of a start command there. So what I'll do is that I'll say command equals to query dot split by spaces, and let's say the first element, and let's make sure this is a kind of string so that we can have the split method as well. So this command will be the first thing. So let's see how this looks. So Telegram command will be like this. Start will be like for example image, to generate the image. So we want to understand if it is start, do something else, if it is image, do something else. So for that, and then there will be following information like a flying horse. So this will be the prompt. So we want to extract whether it is start or image, and if it is none of these two, we will do something else. So if the command is equal to start, we will send Telegram text message, let's say recipient ID will be the recipient ID, and the message will be like for example welcome. Okay, so for that we need to obviously create this function, and for that I'll go here, I'll say def this function, and let's say return nothing. This function will receive a recipient ID type string and message of type string. And let me copy this because we are going to use this oftentimes here. Now in order to send message, let's get the available methods, and if I go here, there is a send message, I guess, send text or something like that, send message. So it will receive chat ID and the text that we want to send. There is also send photo as well, that's what we are going to use. It will have chat ID and photo. Photo will be either a file ID which is uploaded on the server, or a URL that you want to parse. So here I'll say send message. I'll say send message. The data will be chat underscore ID. That will be our recipient ID, my bad. And the text key will be the message that we want to send. And if everything goes well, we will again receive both these things. And here I'll say Telegram message sent. And let me copy this. I'll say message not, and I'll say message not sent. So this function will help us send message to Telegram. So we can import this now. Welcome, generate image using /image followed by your prompt. Okay, so this way we can send message back to the user when someone starts interacting with the bot for the first time. So now we have set this part. So but in case the command if the command is image, we will call the thread function. You remember this? We will call the thread function. For that, what I need to do is that import threading. Here I'll say threading dot thread. The target is this function, the arguments will be, this function receives two arguments, prompt and recipient ID. So we will pass the prompt and recipient ID. We don't have the prompt yet, so we will get the prompt from the input query by saying, let's say the words in the query are stored here, and I'll say dot join without with space, I guess, because there will be spaces, words, and I'll say 1 to n. That means accept this part, join all the words and form my prompt, and I'll pass it to this call DALL-E send image function. We will write that, but once that is off this track, we will let's say send Telegram text message to the recipient ID saying that we have started the image generation. Okay, so this will help the user understand that, hey, the image generation is started. And but if none of the case is there, user has sent something else, we will say this part, let's say only generate image using image followed by your prompt. So I'll say send text message to the recipient ID, and my message will be this. Okay, so it seems okay. So let's test the working. So here I'll go to my Telegram and I'll say start to see if that works. Yeah, you'll see that we have received welcome, generate image using image followed by prompt. So let's say image a flying horse. Yeah, you can see started the image generation, though we haven't yet set that function, but you will see that we have sent 2 successful messages. So now here let's write those part, generate the image, receive the image URL, and send the photo back to the user. For that, let's go to OpenAI and see how that works. For that, we need to import or install first the OpenAI package. We will import it then, and we have done that part already. So if I come here under endpoints, there is image, create image, and you can see this is the code with which you can create the image. So let me copy this part, and here under a new file called utils.py, I'll create a new function def generate image that will receive a prompt that will be of type string, and it will return list of string. So why this list of string? Because there is a possibility, if you look here, there is a parameter n. N means number of images. So if we generate 2 image, then we will receive 2 URLs, and we need to send 2 URLs, so that I'm using list. So the number of URLs, the number of messages we will send back to the user. And here I'll paste the code, and let's reformat that for a bit. Now, in order to use this, I'm not sure we have installed the package or not. Let's make that sure. Pip install OpenAI, and I'll use U to make sure we use the, yeah, it is there. So OpenAI, this will receive API key. I'm not sure my, Python package is broken or what. We are not able to see the hints, but that's okay. In order to obviously read the OpenAI API key, I'll copy that, go to config, os.get.env file, and boom. I hope now you understand the importance of using config.py. And here, let me import the config, and I'll say config.openai API key, and it seems okay. So here, response, let's catch this into a response, and this prompt will be the prompt that we will pass. And here, let me get this information. So we are receiving this. So under response dot data dot data will be the data that we will be receiving, and I'll say URLs is an empty list, and I'll say for item in data, because data is a list. So item in data, I'll say URLs dot append what data, and get the URL key. So we will append all the URLs into this, and we will return the URLs. Okay, and my bad, this should be item. Yeah, so this generate image function is set. We will see if something goes wrong, and let's create one more function to send the photo. I'll say Telegram, let's say photo message, and the photo URL will be the string, and then the payload will be chat ID, and here will be photo, and here will be photo URL, and here instead of send message you will say send photo. Telegram, let's say here I'll say photo yeah. So here, if we come here, we will call this function. Okay, generate image is there, and the prompt will be the prompt. Okay, and then we will send, let me copy the function name. This is the function name. Okay, and this will recipient ID will be the recipient ID, and photo URL will be the URLs that we it says why this seems, yeah, so it is there, my bad. Let me remove this, and yeah, let's import this, and this will be the URLs. So what I'll do is that for URL in URLs, call this function and pass the URL as photo URL, and I will import async IO to wait for a second. Async IO dot sleep, I guess. Yeah, sleep for float continue in seconds. So let's say 1 second. Okay. So this way we'll make sure that we don't overload the overuse the limit, because there is a limit to send messages back to the user. And I guess this seems okay. So here we call that function, pass the things. The function will generate images and send photo messages back to the user. Let me save this, and here let me go to my Telegram, and we will say image flying horse, and I'll hit enter. Okay, started the image generation. Hopefully, if everything goes well, we will receive an image. Let's wait for a second. There is no error here, but we did not receive the image as well. So let's debug this. Okay, so finally I have figured out, and the problem was here we were creating the thread but not starting the thread, and that was the issue. So hopefully if I come here, use this prompt again, and this time this should work. I haven't started the terminal. Let me start the terminal and run the application. So it seems, yeah, flying horse. Yeah, and hopefully we'll receive Telegram photo message sent. Fingers crossed this time. Oh, yeah. So it says that enable. Okay, my bad. There is a small thing. So here, instead of where it is, yeah, it is here, async. So in case if you want to use async, I need to make this asynchronous function, but I'll not do that. I'll import time instead, and here I'll say time. And meanwhile, if we look here, we have received this beautiful flying horse image by DALL-E, and you can see by the results that DALL-E has improved so much. So this works. Let's try one more time. Image a boy and girl walking on the streets, snow falling, trees on the both sides, starry night. Let's see what happens. So yeah, we have received. Let me see the terminal in case something. Yeah, so this is the prompt that we have set. So Telegram message sent, and yeah, Telegram photo message sent. And if you look here, this is the image itself, and you can see the clarity and the detailing. So this seems good, and I guess this should be enough. Let's get rid of all the print statements that we have done. There is no other, I guess. Let me save this. So these things is okay, this thing is okay. Yeah, so these things are working pretty fine. So what I'll do is that I'll say git ignore I don't want to push venv dot env underscore py cache itself underscore. Yeah, so these are the few things that I don't want to send to GitHub. What I'll do is, as from this part, I'll say first commit, yes, publish branch. I'll publish it as a public URL, and if I go to GitHub, just to make sure that the repository is there, and under my repository, yeah, it is there. So I'll then go to render, and in this part we will deploy the application. I'll go to my dashboard, select the login part. Yeah, there are a couple of things deployed. Let me very quickly remove that because I don't want few things. Yeah, so I'll go to new web service. I will select the repository, connect. Everything seems okay here. I'll say, my bad, I'll say Gunicon then run bind this part. I'll select the free version. Under environment variables, I'll copy the environment variables and I'll paste them here. I'll say one more, Python underscore version equals to 3.10.12. Make sure you use the version you are on, and yeah, everything is there. So deploy web service. This will deploy the web service. Yeah, this can take time to be deployed. So I'll be back once the application is deployed. Now you can see that the application is deployed and it is live. So this is the URL that we want. So I'll go to this URL, and if I hit enter, we will hopefully see OK response. Now, if you remember, we have a get method for Telegram route. This sets the webhook for our application. So when I hit enter, we will again see OK response. That means now the application is moved from our local to the render server. So if I hopefully try this out, yeah, we got started the image generation message. And if we go here, yeah, we can see Telegram message sent. And if I go to logs, here you will see all the logs. And yeah, so you see we have received the image as well. I hope that you have gained enough knowledge to build this kind of bot. And before I sign off, I would like to show you that I have a course on Google Dialogflow called Master Google Dialogflow Build Smart Chatbots on Udemy. You can go to Udemy and search for the course, or the link of the course is in the URL. In this course, you will learn all the things needed to build chatbots and start your freelancer journey. Also, I have a community on chatbots called Learn Everything About Chatbots on nas.io. Through this community, I often provide content and often provide guidance to the freelancers and the followers of my community. So if you want to contact me, or if you want some help, you can always join this community and get in touch with me. So finally, I hope this video is helpful to you and you have gained some knowledge. If you like the content I create on my YouTube channel, please consider subscribing to my channel. That helps. Thank you for watching. Peace.